Can you tell I'm in denial?
You can't stay at the top forever.
I was also very surprised when I looked at my phone and saw Joe Girardi dismissed.
Well, I think mine were with common sense.
I think now belongs in the all-time greats top 10.
Boston, I really think only got to this point because of a guy named Chris Middleton being out for the Bucks.
That power play just was unbearable. It was humming.
Man, am I happy. I knew that this was going to happen. I knew he was going to come back.
When I think of New York Yankees now, it's Judge. Probably people in the past when Jeter was coming up.
I would be shocked. A little bit hurt.
Hey, this is Greg Tepper of Dave Campbell's Texas Football, TexasFootball.com, and Valley Sports Southwest. You are listening to Outsiders Opinions with Kevin and Austin.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to our MLB Opinions of the Week in Austin. I thought the Mets were bad, but they broke their 12-game losing streak. But when you look at, I think after that, it was the longest losing streak was the Philadelphia Phillies. And these are two teams that I want to say each of us had making the playoffs. I was a Phillies believer.
Yeah, I think I had both. I'm trying to remember. Did I have both? I think I did. If I had to guess if I did or not, I believe I did. I don't have it right in front of me right now, but I think I did.
Yeah. But there's not a chance right now because the Mets and Phillies both have the same record, 9-19, 10.5 games out of first place from the National League East. And who do you think this is worse for in this position? The Mets or Phillies?
I think the Mets, because they're paying more for it. They're supposed to be the good team. They've made a lot of additions in the offseason. Sure, the Phillies is a little bit more. If you're a Phillies fan, obviously your team is already on the older side, and you should be worried because you don't know necessarily if they're going to be able to compete with their age because, I mean, this year is extremely important. I know we had them on our World Series or bust list, but the Mets are spending more. They have Soto, who's played fine. They have Lindor. They have guys that you're supposed to be really good with. And like I said, they added a lot in the offseason, whether it was Devin Williams, Bo Bichette, Luke Weaver. I mean, there's a lot of guys they've added, and I think that would make me a little bit more worried. But how do you feel about it?
I agree with you. I feel like the Mets are worse because the Phillies, you can kind of expect it. It's like, okay, you were dealing with a lot of older players. And so, like, I understand this is kind of the window was shut more like you thought you had it open, but no, it's just shut on you. And that's how I view that. But with the Mets, they made a lot of moves this offseason. One, including Brandon Nimmo for Marcus Semien, which was, yes, it was player for player in kind of focusing on different areas, but also there seemed to be a clubhouse component. There were rumors that Nimmo wasn't fitting in. You bring in Semien, and Simeon's not having great production right now, while Nimmo's doing pretty well in the Rangers, getting hits, batting leadoff. So those are some questions. They also traded Jeff McNeil. They traded productive players and got other guys. Like they got Bo Bichette, Marcus Semien, Polanco. You mentioned their pitching additions, but so this to me is you're spending a lot of money and you took a lot of risks, and these risks are not paying off. And it's not like they're not doing well as they thought they would. They're doing the complete opposite, which is being in the bottom of the division.
And not just the bottom of the division, they're the worst team in the NL.
Yeah.
I mean, they're worse than the Rockies, who were 13-16. I mean, they're the worst team in the NL.
I think they're the worst. Both these teams are tied for worst in the MLB.
Yeah. This has definitely not been a good stretch of games, and I really do wonder because this is a situation where neither of these teams really want to be there, and because of that, they kind of have put themselves in a difficult situation because you're going to have to make decisions before the trade deadline, like, hey, is this team worth building and helping improve, or is this a situation where we're going to have to trade guys now so that we don't lose their value in free agency or as they get worse?
Yeah, you bring up a good point about that, as you have Juan Soto if you're the Mets, and you got to compete. because you're paying him. Is it the richest in baseball history? The Soto
No,
contract.
because
Ohtani.
I guess in total value, yes, because it's 765 over 13, but not per year because that'd be Ohtani. So
Okay.
it's whichever one you want to view. But Soto's still batting over 300, so it's
Well,
not been
yeah,
a Soto
that's-
problem.
It's
Which
not
I think-
a Soto problem.
Which makes it even worse, in my opinion, because if Soto's batting over 300, has over an 800 OPS, has a 140 OPS plus, and you're still not performing, well, then you know that he's not the problem and he's not the issue you need to fix. So what is the issue? And that's a lot harder than, hey, we just need them to start, our best players to start playing better. Obviously, Lindor's hurt, so that's a problem, but there's a lot more, I think, of like integral problems to this team than just the top level guys.
Yeah, I agree. And when I bring up Soto, it's you have one of the best hitters. You have him on this mega contract. You don't want to be bad with that contract on the books. And you mentioned it. Soto's hitting above 300. He's doing what Juan Soto does at the plate. So you want to maximize that potential. And they're not doing it right now when you're the worst team in the league. So
which team
that
are you more confident can make the playoffs? If you had to pick one of these two teams to make the playoffs this year, who would you pick?
I would go Phillies.
I would agree.
To me, it's the same team, and it's like I think we've seen it. They could just be like, guys, we've been to this before. Like,
and the Mets have been through this before when they missed the playoffs last year with a not the same roster, but one that it still reminds me of it. So similar-ish.
And to me, they took a lot of key contributors out. I think Pete Alonso is another guy I forgot about. And Jeff McNeil, I felt was like Mets. So I think it's very hard to go with that on a brand new team and build through that compared to the Phillies who have done it before.
Yeah, that's definitely true. And I think that this team is one that's going to have to really, the Mets meaning, are going to try to have to find something to rally around. And I think the Mets are kind of the team that I would have expected to fire their manager before a team like the Red Sox that we will talk about in short order. Once we want to see kind of if there's going to be a new hiring there before we do a full video on them. But if we were going to tell me before the year that both these teams were going to have to start, they would have which team's going to fire the manager first, I would have thought it would have been the Mets. They seem like a more dire situation.
I agree with you on that. That is something that I was shocked to see the Red Sox, but I agree with you. The Mets are a team where I would expect that from them, but that just wasn't the case. So do you go manager first, then trades, or do you do trades, then manager if you're either of these teams?
Phillies, I go trades first. Mets, I do manager. The Phillies have had
trades for both.
Okay, but the Phillies, I don't think there's a need for manager because you made runs before, and I think that maybe just tuning up the roster is more the issue. But the Mets, last year you missed the playoffs. If you wait too long now, then it's a completely lost season.
Yeah, that's a good point. So, yeah, it's very interesting and very shocking that both these teams are this bad.
Yeah, I completely agree.
So let us know your thoughts in the comments. We appreciate you listening to Outsiders Opinions.